Welcome to today's lesson. In this tutorial, we will solve multi-step equations involving fractions. We are still solving our multi-step equations, but today we're going to see many more fractions, which means we get to practice step 1. Step 1 says, remove any fractions by multiplying entire sides by the denominators. So let's look at example 1. I actually see two denominators. One has a denominator of 5 and the other one has a denominator of 3. I'm going to remove these denominators separately. So let's start. Let's put parentheses around the entire left side of the equation. Let's put parentheses around the entire right side of the equation. I'm going to remove the 5 first, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. I'm going to be sure to put the 5 in parentheses and up in the numerator so that I know that I'm canceling out the 5. And here's my slash. 5 divided by 5 becomes 1, and x minus 2 would then just pop on down. I've got my equal sign. When I'm multiplying fractions, I might want to see this denominator, but that's just a denominator of 1. That's there to remind me that the 2 and the 5 will multiply to make 10, but the denominator is not going to change. 3 times 1 is still 3. So I got rid of one of the fractions, but I still have another fraction, so I need to repeat step 1. I'm going to put parentheses around the entire left side. I'm going to put parentheses around the entire right side. I'm trying to get rid of a 3, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. I'm going to be sure to put that in the numerator on this side. I put that up there so that it can cancel away with the denominator, and now it's gone. This is a 3 times a parentheses x minus 2, and then an equal sign, and then 10 is the only thing that's left. So it did take me 2 steps, but now both of my fractions are gone. Step 2, remove any parentheses by distribution. I still see a set of parentheses, so I'm going to distribute this 3 to the x and this 3 to the negative 2. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. I have my equal sign, and I have my 10. I do not have any like terms on either side. I do not have a variable term on both sides, so I can jump straight to numbers 5 and 6. I'm going to move my number term from the left side to the right side. Since it's negative 6 right now, I'm going to put a positive 6 underneath it. I'm going to have to do that to both sides. I draw my nice neat line and cross out those terms to 0, and I have 3x is equal to 16. My final step is to divide by my coefficient. Divide by 3, divide by 3, and I have that x equals, well, 16 is not divisible by 3 evenly, so I'm just going to leave that as an improper fraction, 16/3. If you're using a calculator and you want to put that into the calculator, you will get 5.33333333 forever, or rather 5.3 repeating. I'll just put my repeating bar right there. Now let's verify that our answer is correct. But because our answer is a fraction, and I would need to substitute it into an equation that has other fractions, that could be a little bit complicated. So I'm going to show you how to verify on Desmos. Let's pull up our Desmos calculator. And let's remind ourselves how we can verify the solution to an equation using the intersection of the two sides of the equation. I'm going to type the left side of the equation as 1, y equals, I need a fraction so I'm hitting the division, x minus 2 divided by 5. So that's one of my equations. That's the left side. And the other side is just going to be y equals 2/3. So y equals 2/3. And now I see that the intersection point is right here, and that x coordinate should be my answer. And since I see 5.333333, I know that I am correct because that's what I had as my decimal equivalent for 16/3. So we can box this in, and we know that we are correct because Desmos checked us. Great. Let's look at example 2. Again, I see two different denominators, so I'm going to do step 1 twice. Let's put parentheses around the entire left side and put parentheses around the entire right side. And I'm going to get rid of the 5 first, so let's multiply both sides by 5. I'm going to multiply this side by 5 and this side by 5 so that that 5 can go away. X plus 3 is all that's going to be left on the left side. I've got my equal sign. Nothing cancels out here, so I'm just going to put the 5 and the x minus 2 in parentheses, and it's all going to be divided by 4. I still have to do step 1 one more time because the 4 is still there. I need to get rid of this 4. So parentheses around the entire left side, parentheses around the entire right side. Let's multiply this side by 4. Let's multiply this side by 4 so that that 4 can now cancel away. I've got 4 times my x plus 3, and that equals my 5 times the x minus 2. Great. 2 steps and my fractions are now gone. Step 2 says let's remove any parentheses by distribution. I see 2 sets of parentheses, so let's distribute on both sides. 4 times x, 4 times 3. Equal sign. And let's do here 5 times x and 5 times negative 2. Okay, now we get down to this. I still need to subtract my variable term to the left side of the equation. I see a variable term here. I'm going to move it over to here. It's a positive 5x, so negative 5x goes right underneath it. And I'm going to put that on both sides. And now I'm going to cancel that term away. And I have 4 take away 5 is negative 1, so this becomes negative 1x. I don't need the 1. Plus 12, equal sign, negative 10. Okay, once I moved my x terms, my variable terms to the left side, I'm going to move my number terms to the right side. We should have had plenty of practice with this so far. A positive 12, take away 12, cancels out to 0. I've got negative x, equal sign, negative 22. One more step. I have to get rid of this coefficient, and right now there's a negative 1. So I'm going to divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, cancel that away, and I have finished. X equals 22. Now let's see that we are correct. We could verify this on Desmos, but this is not an ugly fraction, so I should be able to plug it right into the original. My original fraction has x plus 3 over 5, so I'm going to say 22 plus 3 over 5. I'm going to put a question mark over my equal sign because I'm not sure. And the right side of my equation says x minus 2 over 4, so that's going to be 22 minus 2 over 4. Let's see if these two things are the same. 22 plus 3 is 25. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 22 minus 2 is 20. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Cool. We got exactly the same thing, so I know that 22 is my answer. Verified. Let's look at our final example. Example 3. This time I only see one fraction, so that's cool, but there is something that I want to point out in this problem. Since I see a fraction, I am going to remove any fractions by multiplying the entire side. So I need to put parentheses around this entire side. And this time, this entire side actually has two terms. It has the fraction term and this 5. So parentheses around that side and parentheses around this side. I need to get rid of the 2, so I'm going to multiply by 2. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, of course. And there we go. Don't be quick to cancel out this 2 because this 2 actually needs to distribute to both of the terms in the parentheses. And that's what I wanted to point out in this case. So this 2 times this first fraction, 3x plus 1, divided by 2. And this 2 times this negative 5 makes negative 10. On the other side, we have negative 2x. Now this 2 can cancel away because it's all just one term, because we distributed to this part and we distributed to this part. So don't forget that this had to be multiplied by 2. So the 2 is gone, so now the 3x plus 1 can just pop on down and join the negative 10. Equal sign here and negative 2x. Step 2, we don't need to do because there are no parentheses. Step 3, though, we do have some like terms. On this left side, I see a positive 1 and I see a negative 10. Because they're on the same side of the equal sign, we can combine them together to make negative 9. 3x does not have like terms, so I'll just leave that there. 1 take away 10 is negative 9. And then my equal sign, and then negative 2x. Okay. Step 4, let's move any variable terms to the left side. I see a variable term right here, so let's move that to the left side. It's a negative 2x now, so I need to put positive 2x underneath it. Positive 2x on both sides, and I will cancel it away. 3x plus 2x is 5x, minus 9, equal sign. Well, there's nothing left here, so that must mean 0 is right there. If I move the variables to the left side, then I need to move the numbers to the right side. So let's add 9, draw my line, and cross that out. I've got 5x is equal to 9. One last step, always seems to be the last step, divide by the coefficient. I'm going to divide by 5, I'm going to divide by 5, cancel that out, and I've got that x equals, I like to leave it as 9/5, but if you'd like to put it as a decimal, that would be 1.8. Now we need to see if this is the correct solution, so we need to verify. I'd like for you to pause the video and practice in Desmos how to verify that this is the correct answer. Graph this left side in Desmos, graph this right side in Desmos, find the intersection point, and see if you get the 1.8. Pause now and practice verifying in Desmos. Okay, thanks for trying that. I plugged the entire left side into Desmos right here. I plugged the entire right side into Desmos right here, and I saw that those two lines intersected right here at this dot that has an x-coordinate of 1.8. So I know that I am correct, and I can circle this 1.8, or the 9/5. It's the same thing. So I have verified on Desmos. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and I appreciate your practice with this. I'll see you in class so we can practice even more. Bye-bye.